Hey guys, Seth and Danny from Jump Ship. Today we have a topic we want to bring to you guys, and the topic is basically, can you be really fit and still have a full life outside of the gym? And that's something that people throw around all the time. But before we get into that topic, I want to let you know about a quick promo we have for the month of September. If you sign up for any of Jump Ship's programs, that's the Crew, that's Cannonball, that's IEW, any of the programs online, you sign up, stick with us for the month of September, you will receive a free t-shirt from us. It's a t-shirt of their choice?
Yeah, we have I think 5 or 6 options for you to choose from. We'll send you a code, you can pick whatever you want, ships for free.
Can't really lose.
Yeah.
It's a good deal
Yeah.
if you're interested in trying something new out. So, and if you already follow, thanks for following. Hopefully this helps you out a little bit. So the topic again is, can you get really fit and probably competitive in this context, right? And still have a full life outside of the gym.
And also kind of how to do it, I think.
Because
that part's overlooked.
Spoiler alert, the answer is probably yes, you can do that.
Right.
You can get really fit. What we mean when we say a life outside of the gym is most people would have a full-time or more job. They probably have some sort of family that they're taking care of or a part of. They might be in school full-time. They just have some kind of relationship. They have everything outside of the gym. Whereas people like us for a long time, we basically had our social circle in the gym. Our families came to our gym, our friends were at the gym, and we worked at the gym. So, not that I was ever competitive, but at one point you were pretty dang fit.
A long time ago.
Making a comeback.
I feel like when I had originally started getting into competing and stuff, all I was really doing was coaching. I had dropped out of college to essentially pursue competing, and then open up my own gym. But that's all I was really doing. And while obviously running a gym is a lot, you find much more time when you're just in your gym all day to work out for multiple hours and whatever else. So I feel like that's when I probably hit my peak. And then I think my original decline was when I was trying to pursue other business opportunities and trying to make a life for myself. And then I also started going back to school. So that's when I was like, okay, I don't have time anymore to do this. But I was still trying to squeeze multiple hours a day, which was painful. My quality of training was terrible. I was exhausted. So now my gym is, my gym isn't doing as well as it could because I'm not focusing there. My training is not doing as well as it could and not focusing. And now I'm just getting through school because you're just to get through school.
Yeah, and I think that brings up a lot of points is everything you do above and beyond what you're trying to do in the gym gives a certain burden or a certain level of stress on you that you also have to recover from, right? It's not just the physical training, it's the mental taxing of training and then everything else you're doing. Not to mention, I think, this is just kind of my theory, but if you're coaching all day and training, I think you're able to recover a little better because as you're coaching, you're also continuing to move slowly through range of motion.
Stretching a little bit.
Stretching with class. Else. Yeah, exactly. So that kind of is all conducive to the overall picture of high intensity training versus if you worked out really hard for 3 hours and went and sat at a desk like this for 8 hours, you'd be in really rough shape day after day. Your hips would be tight, your shoulders, you just have problem after problem.
But I think that's what started kind of my decline, so to speak, and when I was oh, I can't be competitive anymore because at the time, every competitive training company or program was hours and hours and hours a day, and then class was just not quite enough. So I was just I can't do all of this, and that's when I just was kind of I need to either be done competing or try to grow my businesses or, push those aside and whatever. And that's when you kind of had to make a choice where I feel a lot of people don't want to have to make that choice. They want to kind of try to do both, but it's really hard. It's
funny, and people get away with training for longer periods of time for a while, whether they're making crazy results or not. When you're in your early 20s and you're not quite established in your life, so to speak, yet. You make the time to spend 3 hours a day in the gym or whatever it may take. But as you start to progress in your life, all of a sudden you're 22 doing that. You wake up one day and you're 28, 29, 31, 34. It just goes by so fast.
But with that,
28 now.
With that too, though, a couple years ago, I could get up, not warm up, start training, lift something super heavy, not cool down. Now, I cannot get away with that. So your typical, if a couple years ago it was 4 hours, now it has to be 5 hours. I don't have time to skip those things or it's just far too painful the next couple of days.
So added responsibilities, natural aging, all these things start to play effect from what we get, we get super ambitious about being really competitive, and we'll do whatever it takes to get to that next level. And a lot of times that whatever it takes or what we believe is doing that can be a little bit counterproductive or whatever. And then when you start to add the responsibilities to it, you find so many athletes are just kind of like stagnant. Like they're busting their asses and they're trying to make progress, but a couple things happen. One, they end up plateauing when they have to balance a very busy life schedule with training, so they end up just kind of going through the motions and dealing with it the best they can. Their lifts kind of stay steady, they don't make any real progress. Or two, unfortunately, we see a lot of them end up getting little nagging injury after injury, and there might not be serious things, but I can't use their shoulder for 6 weeks, I can't use my right knee for 4 weeks, and these things take away from your training season, right? So even if you are, not the highest level, but you were trying to make progress, anytime you have a setback like that caused by extra stress, responsibility, lack of time to be able to recover, sleep, eat well, train right, all those things slow down your process. Even though you're doing 3 hours of volume, you're really going backwards. And I think that's something that people just overlook, and they go, I can't wait for my shoulder to get better so I can go right back in and probably hurt themselves again.
Yeah,
So.
I think it's been about like 4 or 5 years now since I've taken it seriously or whatever. And I've been battling this hand injury for almost a year now, but I'm almost approaching like my top end strength from when I was like at my complete peak, which is kind of insane. Like I don't work out much. I do the 90, probably 4 days a week, like high stress life. Sleep's not great because we have a puppy between us and she like bites you in the middle of the night. But like, so it's like all of those things, but now like, it's kind of what you said before, like balancing your stress. Like you can't have work stress, school stress, and then still 4 or 5 hours of training stress. So now I have like work stress, life stress, and less training stress, but I'm still able to slowly get back. I probably will never get back fully to where I was, but like it's not a priority for me, so that's fine. But like, I'm hitting 5 pounds less than like a best front squat from 5 years ago. Like I shouldn't be doing that. And there's other people too. Like I feel like in my category of athletes who competed a few years back and now they're kind of in the same position that I'm in, like plenty of them are doing really well again and hitting PRs again that you don't hit for years.
Right.
So it's like, what does that tell you? Like probably overtraining or overdoing something.
Yep, for sure. I mean, I think that was one of the biggest eye openers for us when we first started Jump Ship. Was like we were kind of, with our GPP style of strength, we caught a lot of heat and criticism from making that our program for out of the gate, and then we started getting messages nonstop. I haven't hit this back squat in 4 years. I have never pulled this deadlift. I've never snatched that much. Why?
And
how?
even people who have been with us since we started are still doing that, like month after month. Like there's so many people that haven't hit PR in 5 years. Now they PR every couple months, just like by doing less but focusing more.
So let's get into like, how is this happening? So let's use you as the first example. Like you're getting back close to your old strength numbers, right? With dealing with everything else you got going on in your life, which is a lot. And you're going to be working a lot harder soon toward getting some of your conditioning back to where it was in gymnastics. I know that's a whole other animal, but we do believe you can be competitive, right? Maybe not what you once were at, but at a high level of competition still. So what sort of things can you do, balancing your life, or do you want to do, are you doing, that allows you now to get your, build back to where you were and maybe beyond in some areas while doing everything else and training less than ever?
Yeah, I think my biggest issue is we're just juggling quite a bit, which is fine, but I end up, setting time aside in the afternoon or whatever to go work out, and then, we walk into the gym and there's just a bajillion things to do.
Explosion of mess.
I mean, it's how it is. Like, it's nothing.
Gym life.
Yeah, gym life.
Yeah.
So, there's a mess or this or like, make copies of this, like whatever it is. So then before you know it, my set aside time doesn't exist anymore. So I need to be better about like prioritizing my training time if that's something that I feel like doing.
But even just a small amount, right? You're not setting aside 3 hours. You're trying to set aside 60 to 90 minutes.
That's it.
And that's all you need.
In the days when I can't fit in the 90, I just do the first 2 pieces. And that's usually sufficient for me, and especially where I'm at right now, I feel good. I don't have anything that hurts, like besides like my hand, but that's because I did something to it. But like everything else feels good. But yeah, I think the thing is too, like if I'm looking to compete, like likely on a team or something, the catch for me is like if you go to semifinals or even to the games or whatever, you're doing maybe 2 to 3 workouts a day, maybe 4
during competition.
Yeah. So you're doing like whatever you're not doing 8 pieces a day.
No.
So why are competitive programs telling you to do 8 pieces a day? Why don't you hit your 3 pieces hard? I mean I don't know. Why, what do they say? Practice like you compete or
Compete,
something like
yeah.
that. Like, so all I need to do is 2 pieces a day. I need to do a strength and maybe a conditioning and then like some sort of sprinty finisher, and that's like plenty for me to get where I need to be an athlete on the team, I think.
I think you're exactly leading me to one of the points I wanted to make in the video, and that's like intensity rules all. Now, there's a time and a place to put intensity in your training. You can't just ram your head into the wall every day, all the time, and especially if you're doing 3 or 4 hours, that's not possible.
Well, it's
But
not possible.
Right, it's not possible, flat out. But even with something like Jump Ship 90, like we have times when we kind of dictate whether it's a finisher or quality time, right? So high intensity or high, priority of range of motion and skill. Like the workouts are written in a certain way where it's very straightforward whether you're going to sprint through something with a shorter AMRAP with rest or if it's a longer conditioning piece in which you have to pace. So like we're trying to balance out intensity but also give enough of a dose of it so that you are able to adapt, grow, overcome that stuff without getting super burned out. And I think that's one of the things we took when we first decided, okay, we're going to do this program, this company now. We need to find like the right balance that'll do that and not just run everyone else into the ground like I've done in the past to people.
Yes,
accidentally.
he's done it to me.
That's a whole other story. But anyway, yeah, I do think intensity is the most important thing. So to your point, you don't need to just go through the motions of 5 to 6, 7 pieces a day. You
Just
need
to say you did it too.
Yeah.
Are you like, if you're doing that, are you actually getting anything out of it, or are you just writing it on a whiteboard and being like, look at all that I did? Like, did you do it, or did you just want to write it on the whiteboard to take a picture of it?
And there are people who do that and still have to scale everything.
Yeah.
So if you have to scale every workout and then you're trying to do 5 workouts,
Yeah.
big mistake, like huge mistake. But anyway, so like you said, intensity is what's gonna drive this thing, make you fitter, get you faster, make you stronger, all that stuff. And so we're just doing less work but more focus and more intensity in those places, and we're finding people are making progress a lot faster than trying to just drag themselves through 3 hours a day of training. And that sounds very salesy, but it's not meant to be. It's really what we've discovered. And just, you're one example of somebody who really thought they were going to hang it up forever. Just a year ago, we had long talks about this. Next year, you told me, never ever let me compete again. Promise me.
Like, I hate this.
Like, I won't let you compete ever again. And now I'm back with her, like trying to get her going again.
Yeah, but I feel like I've come to the realization that it doesn't have to be like that. I don't
Yeah.
have to do all of that to be decent and to, clean up the holes and whatever. And again, like, I've accepted I'll never be back to my best, and that's fine. Don't have time for that, and it's not a goal.
Right.
But like,
So
my
you're
goal
right.
is to be a good team athlete and to like have fun and maybe compete again. I don't know.
Yeah, and
Too soon to tell.
It is, and you're able to do that. You're probably going to be a pretty competitive and valuable team athlete with 60 to 90 minutes, 3 to 5 times a week.
Plenty.
But you're focused on your training. You're supposed to be focused on your sleep. We'll get back there. Well, we talk about all the time, increasing sleep. It's a struggle right now. Food is another thing we talk about all the time, like just trying to make sure we're actually cooking meals for ourselves or eating clean or eating Ice Age meals. We know we can count on them basically every time to make sure that we're good to go. A little bit of supplementation here and there, but like just the little details with a full busy life, if you're that person that has the full-time job, the family, school, all that stuff going on, just
You
focus
don't have
on...
to completely sacrifice.
No, you just need to focus on the things you can control in the time that you have. If you have an hour, if you have 90 minutes, maybe you do have 2 hours, right? Then you can really just like dial it in on the things you need to work on, improve on, or just kind of commit to a program like ours where we're going to give you a good variety of things every day to just try to get better at. Bring what energy you have available to your training, and don't worry about what everyone else is doing around you. Don't worry about the people training 3-4 hours. A good chance half of their training session is wasted energy, and now they have to work twice as hard to recover from it with very little benefit from it. And I think we're seeing that a lot, and I think people are waking up to that too. It's taken us a while, and other companies I think are waking up to it too, but what?
You just don't stop talking.
Sorry.
We'll stop there.
Anyway, yeah, so hope that helps. You guys can actually get really fit and competitive, balancing out your life. Hopefully we can help you guys do that. Again, free t-shirt this month if you want to try out any of our programs, and we'll see you guys later.